Chess, nonsense, and analysis. Hi, dear viewer. So here we are again, and we are back to our very interesting topic, which I hope you are enjoying, um, which is calculation. So the last time we looked at patterns, right? Like, recognizing patterns and using patterns as the pieces move and shift. We are going to still look at this idea, but this time we're going to introduce another idea, fantasy, I'd like to call it. So fantasy is basically, not stopping along the way, not saying, well, this is impossible because my opponent is going to play this or that, but to see patterns, to continue with it, and to look at a logical variation to its conclusion. Well, logical in a sense that, even if you are sacrificing big material, you would still calculate as long as you keep the pattern in mind. All right. So once again, there's no better way to explain it than jumping into an example. The next example I'm going to show you is a game I played at the Olympiad to play against Morocco at the Tromsø Olympiad in Norway in 2014. And it's a bittersweet game. I actually, it's one of my best games ever in a sense of fantasy. But, I was playing so badly in this tournament, and in a sense that, even positions that were good, somehow I would blunder them with inexplicably. This is not the only game. I would have a good position, and then in a critical position, I would swap moves around or I would blunder, and it happens, in there are tournaments where just things don't work out, and you're not necessarily in bad shape, but things are not happening. This was one of the tournaments. But anyway, let's get into the game. So I played e4, and Onkoud plays d5. I took so strong international master, by the way, from Morocco, 2383. He plays a lot in France, French championship, I mean, league and stuff like that. He's a very good player. So in this, he plays many different openings. And when we reached this position, he had surprised me. I was not expecting this opening from him. And so we reach this position. So what normally happens is that, when you reach a certain position that you didn't prepare for that specific round, you are a bit nervous because remember, I've had some games that I've played my database. So he is prepared. And so as a result, I started to think, well, how do I get out of the theory that my preparation, right? And just play something fresh so that he didn't prepare. So I played 95. Normal move here is pawn to g3. I have played some games with it. So I decided to play knight e5. Okay, this move has been played also before, but I didn't know much about it. But I thought, okay, look, if he prepared g3, at least we are sort of both on our own, which was the case. He plays knight c6. I took the knight. It's logical. And then I played d5. It's a tempo. He plays queen to d6. And I played bishop e2. Okay, normal move. I want to castle and maybe bishop f3 and rook e1. And my pawn is a little bit advanced in his territory. Could be an issue, but I thought, okay, I can always find ways, because also remember his queen on d6, right? This queen on d6 is not in its most natural habitat. And I could try to find some things there and so on. All right, so the game goes, he plays b6. And when he plays b6, I start to get spooked, because I understand that I'm worried, I'm wary that he's going to put his bishop on b7, he's going to castle long. And when he castles long, the rook is going to get to d8, and he's going to be putting tremendous pressure on the pawn on d5. This was my worry. So I played queen d4. And queen d4, my idea really is to not stop him, but to make his plan not as attractive as would have been, because my idea is to play bishop f4, right? And if I play bishop f4, I'm very active because bishop f4 would come with a tempo. So this is the move I'm talking about here. Bishop to going to f4 would attack the queen, of course, and then I could castle long immediately. And then I can move, really. Because, if you play bishop b7, I could play bishop f4, castle long, then put my queen on c4 as well. Attack c7, and I can go. I mean, so he plays the move e5, a very logical move that I was also expecting, right? So I play queen a for check. And the reason why I play queen a for check is just simply I'm using the pattern. It's a very small little operation. I mean, he cannot play b5 because I will take it. He cannot play queen d7 because I will put my bishop on b5. So he has to play bishop d7. I was a little bit happy with this because that's why I played queen a4 check, because I felt, okay, if he plays bishop d7, he doesn't have time to at least attack my pawn easily, right? I can get my pieces out and start playing. So I played queen h4. I had this other idea. He played bishop e7, and then I played queen g3. So this was my second idea. My queen on g3 puts pressure on the pawn on g7, and so on. He castles. And now I start with this fantasy variation. So yeah, the fantasy variation, but we'll talk about it. Maybe I talk about it before we play it out, right? So my idea here was to play the move pawn to f4. This was my idea. And what am I doing here? Well, I'm actually just injecting some serious life into the position. One of my wishes is to be able to castle queenside and then just launch an attack, right? But I played f4, and now I started to calculate. Okay, pawn takes pawn is not something he will play. Because if he plays e takes f4, I will play bishop takes f4, attack the queen, and then I will castle long after that. And then I'm just going. So what will he play after f4? Well, he has to play knight captures d5. That is what I thought, right? Knight captures d5. And then I will play f takes e5. This was the position I was playing for. First and foremost, well, in that position, there are three important patterns that are there. Maybe you can pause the video here and just see. I'm not talking about the moves now. This is very important. I don't care about the moves, which move you will play. Just look at the patterns. What are the patterns that are there after f4, knight takes d5, f takes e5 for both colors, right? Okay, good. We are back. Did you look at them? All right. The patterns that are there is if I take f takes e5, there's a pin I have on the pawn on g7. And since I'm attacking the queen, I'm at some stages, one or the other, wanting to play bishop h6 in some positions, right? Second pattern. Since he's going to play knight takes d5, we have a situation here of the knight being on d5 and the rook on a8. So we have a pattern there, which is the pattern from h1 to a8 diagonal. So the bishop may move to f3 to take advantage of that particular pattern. Right. And then, however, there's a big pattern against me when I play f4. What is the pattern against me? Maybe, again, if you missed it, if you found it initially, well, sorry. But if you missed it, what do you think is the pattern then against me if I play the pawn to f4? Remember patterns, guys? Please do remember, it's not a move that one has to play now. It's just a move that is possible. Did you find it? Excellent. So if I play f4, the pattern is the diagonal, right? Okay, so I did play f4. The pattern is here. My queen and my king are on the same diagonal. If my opponent can find a way to play bishop h4, it's curtains, right? Which would be a pin. So this in mind, is the patterns that I'm thinking about during the game. Excuse me. And this is what I was working with. By the way, I checked with the computer. The computer is not so impressed with my idea. And the computer says that black should play e4 with a better game. I agree fully. Having looked at the game, e4 is very strong and it stops most of my ideas. And black is the one with a lot of play, and they have developed and so on. But my opponent did not play e4. My opponent played knight captures d5. Just grab some to drink for a second. Yeah, sorry about that. So my opponent plays knight takes d5, and which is the move that I expected. I play f takes e5. Now, the game starts really, because if my opponent does nothing, let's say he plays queen c5, or anywhere, queen e6, queen c6, queen c5, doesn't matter, because what I want to play stays. Maybe you can pause the video again here. What do you think white should play? Think patterns. Well, did you find it? Excellent. The move is knight takes d5, queen takes d5, and bishop h6. Remember, the queen was initially on d6. Now, because there's a pattern here where I'm the one we talked about, right? With the pin. I play bishop h6, and I'm threatening terrible things against my opponent. If they play g6, I'll take the exchange and castle, and I should be able to sort that position out. So, what does it mean? It means that in this position, after I played f takes e5, it was clear to me that the strongest move, but the opponent is not queen c5 or queen c6 or queen e6. What should the opponent play? You see it? Well, look, the opponent must go queen b4, which is what he plays. Queen b4 pins my knight, which means that I don't have this knight takes d5. But more importantly, the queen is now working with the bishop to hit the square h4, which enables bishop h4, pinning my queen. And now this was like, you know, a moment of inspiration for me and fantasy. And this is where I used the topic for today, you know, patterns. But now you use the patterns in terms of fantasy. You know, being very creative and finding ideas that are out of the box that you know that the opponent would not see beforehand, right? Okay. So I play the move. The problem I'm having now is there are two problems I'm having. I'm having the problem of being pinned. This is the one. But I'm having a more serious problem of the other bishop coming to h4. Now, okay, I play a3, which is a good move. I am forcing my opponent to move to d4. There is no other move. Why? Because if you move anything, let's say queen a5, for an example, then I can go bishop h6. We're back. We're back to this, right? Threatening mate, and if you play g6, I take the exchange and so on. So the opponent must play queen d4. And actually what the opponent is playing for now is the bishop h4. And this is where, well, not exactly this, but I mean, I had to calculate this from behind, from a few moves back. And this is where the concept happens. Very beautiful concept. First, now I play knight. I'm going to show you the first move, and then I would like you to try and find the concept, right? The idea. I played here knight captures d5. So now if queen takes d5, I will play bishop h6, as we said. So the logical move for black is what? Bishop h4, isn't it? To pin my queen. Right, now think patterns. what is happening here? Why am I allowing this? Because my queen is now certainly lost. Well, at least it's pinned. Please pause the video and then we'll get to it. Did you find it? Ah, excellent. Well done. So the pattern is the king. Remember, the king is also part and parcel of patterns. If the king is open, like for example, let's take the white king, right? This diagonal is what we shall call an open check. So the king is in an open check, and that open check could lead to many moves happening. It's a pattern. Now, the next pattern, though, for the king is, okay, there are things like back rank mate when the king is castled, but there also is a very important pattern that you should not remember, you should not forget, which is how many squares does the king have? Now, when we are calculating how many squares the king has, we also count the square that the king is currently on. So black has got 2 squares. The king has got G8 and H8. And that is the pattern. Did you see it? Maybe you can pause the video now and then try to see if you can find the pattern. Well, very complicated, right? So the move is knight f6 check. These are forcing moves now. If black plays bishop takes f6, we shall take back with the pawn, threatening mate, and if they take with the queen, we are piece up, want to castle, so possibly queen f2, and we castle, and black is going to resign in a few moves, right? So that's not the one. So basically, after knight f6 check, black has to play king h8, which my opponent does. Now, do you see the pattern? And do you see the mating picture? Do you see it? Pause the video and think of a mating picture that involves the knight on f6. Okay, have you seen it? Brilliant. The mating picture is rook takes h7. That is the picture. This is now where we talk about fantasy. We are looking at things that are seemingly impossible, but we're making it happen. So the rook captures h7 will be checkmate. Aha. So rook captures h7 will be checkmate. It means that when the queen is captured, if I take back with my pawn, the rook is in the game. The rook is threatening checkmate. But now, who's defending the bishop is the queen. So I understood this whole concept. I played for it. But now, as I say, that the winning move, let's start first with the winning move, okay? Maybe find it, please. Find the winning sequence. Then to the combination, this fantasy combination using patterns. What does white play to win? It's not a one mover. You have to calculate a bit. Yeah, maybe you can pause the video here and then go for it. Okay, did you find it? Excellent. Happy that you found it. The move is pawn to c3. Pawn to c3. That is it. What should black do? If black captures the queen, check. White, this is the point. White captures back with the pawn. And the rook is in the game. But the queen is hanging. If you take the knight, I take the queen. And I'm a piece up. I've got 2 bishops. You have only 1. If you move away with the queen, where do you move? Anywhere, I don't care. Then I take rook takes h7 and it's checkmate. Wow. So it means that you cannot take the queen. So what should you do? You should defend the bishop. Anywhere you go, if you don't defend the bishop, you're lost. So if you play queen c5, I take the bishop with my queen. For example, queen c5, I will take your bishop with my queen, and I'm winning easily. So what does it mean? It means the only move for the queen is a4. It's the only square. There is no other square. All the squares are attacked. So you have to go queen a4. And now, can you find the winning move? You can pause, look, think for it for a while and find the winning move for white. Back, good. I know you found it, right? The move is b3. Lights out. And black can resign. Because if black captures the queen, we capture back. And there's no time to stop the mate because we take the queen. If black takes the knight, we take the queen. We are winning. Pawn up. Piece up, excuse me, piece. Peace, 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 peace. All peace up. And if what do? You know, if you take on B3, then I take on H4. And I'm threatening mate. I mean, you can play queen takes C3 check, but I guess this is completely irrelevant. I could possibly move my king. Maybe there are other moves like bishop d2, but I'd just move my king here like this. And it should be lost. I don't know if I can play in a more forcing way like bishop d2, queen takes a1, check, king f2, and then pick up the queen. But there must be so many ways to win it, right? So many ways to win it. So that would be it. After p3, the game would be lost and would be over, and the opponent would have to resign. And I would have played, you know, it's a very nice fantasy idea, but then it would have I would have gotten the rewards. But as I say, you know, I was in a very strange place in this tournament because I was just blundering somehow. Even when I was playing such beautiful chess, I played bishop e3. This is a complete blunder. Oh, I'm not yet losing, but there's a difference. And the difference is that after queen a5, it's check. Okay, but let's go. Queen a4. And I realized now, oh no, what have I done? And I panicked. I played something like b3. Now there's a difference. Queen a5, check. You see. Because in the other variation, my pawn would have been on c3. There would have been no check. But this time I've allowed check because I played bishop e3, very bad move. And then I played b4, queen takes e5. And here, this is how the game went. And I'm an exchange down. I played on because it's a team competition, but I was already shaking my head because, of course, I could think back and say, oh my goodness, why did I think why did I play bishop e3? What possessed me? Just c3 and I was winning. The game is over. And now I'm having to defend this position, which I failed to defend and I lost. But by the way, if I had not panicked, for example, I played bishop e3, it's a blunder, he plays queen a4. But had I not panicked, I could still hold a draw. I could play knight takes h7 here. But this is a computer variation, yeah? Knight takes h7. And if bishop takes g3, h takes g3. And now I'm threatening mate. Knight f6 is checkmate. So it means that black must actually, if black plays g6, I will mate him again. You know, g6, knight f6, check. And this is checkmate, you know. So what black has to do is black has to play king g8 to get out, no? And then white can take on f8. Rook takes f8, this position. And maybe white can play something like castling long, this type of situation. No. And there are better chances of holding this position because I have rook h4 and rook h1. You know, this h rook moving to h4 and then doubling the rooks, and I've got two bishops and I can still try to attack the king. And the position is still look, maybe black is slightly better, but white is in the game. But instead, I chose the other variation and I lost. Wow, what can you do? But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this fantasy. So we are continuing from patterns. Remember, we said calculation and patterns, and then now we're introducing the next stage, which is fantasy, which is the idea of not stopping calculation, looking at possible patterns that are far away, and really trying to make them work and not being afraid of ghosts. You know, you just keep calculating till you can get that pattern going. All right. So yeah, if you did like that, you know, like, share, subscribe, and please do write comments. In the last comments, I liked the comments of you, dear viewer, because you were telling me in certain positions what could have played, what could have happened, you know, moves I missed and things like that. I like that. There's some nice interaction there. So please do drop some variations that you will be thinking about and so on. And yeah, well, with that, I will then just simply say, as always, checkmate.